I'm Stefan from SRP Picks, and today I'm going to be running through the PGA Comeback Show here as the SRP Picks YouTube channel kicks off. PGA comes back next week for the Charles Schwab Classic in Fort Worth, and next week we'll be doing an episode discussing and breaking down the field, what bets that we see that are a lot of value for you to play as the PGA comes back, and I know that a lot of people are dying to watch and make picks for live sports, so we're going to hopefully get a little ahead of the curve in this episode of the show. And today we're basically going to break down the new website that the SRP Picks podcast and now YouTube channel will be promoting over the next few days. I know I've been hard at work developing a website for you all to kind of access a lot of PGA data. I know a lot of it, specifically the season data, is going to be a little bit skewed because obviously the guys are coming back after a long off time due to COVID-19. They haven't played since March in the Players' Championship. But I think that the information there is going to be really helpful for you guys coming back in, kind of seeing baseline numbers for some of these players and really getting a feel as to what guys maybe don't need to be in as form as much to come in and compete right off the bat when the season returns. We're also going to be going through some of our course data and analysis to kind of show what the website has to offer. All this stuff is going to be free and offered on the website. Starting this weekend, we're working on deploying it to a location right now. But all of the stuff that you're going to see me go through today and the stuff that I will walk you through when I'm making picks on my weekly show that's going to discuss the PGA, you'll be able to learn how to use all of that stuff. You'll also see two sections on the list, MLB and NFL, that will be for future shows. The MLB obviously had a recent meeting where it did not go as well as planned between the MLB, PA, and the owners, but we expect all of that to be resolved by sometime by the end of July, and whenever that happens, I know I have a huge database of information that I'm ready to deploy to the website as well, and I give it to you guys to use for either daily fantasy projections or for, if you want to bet some MLB futures for the divisions or for the pennant races, be my guest. When that releases, and then when my NFL fantasy data begins to release, I'll also be going through that a lot and describing to you guys how to use that information. I know last year when I was discussing SRP picks, we did a lot of picks based on baseball on the podcast, so you can go back and watch those on podbean.com/SRP picks. That won't be linked in the description, but what will is my Twitter handle, at SRP picks on Twitter. Which is basically where I go through and have a lot of conversations with people the week of PGA tournaments or the week of big NFL fantasy draft weekends. And we like to sit down and discuss, what the plays are for the upcoming week, why we think that, because as I like to describe a lot, there's a lot of different ways to get to the right answer when it comes to either making a DraftKings lineup or getting a great betting card for the upcoming week. So when I bring you guys through a week of the PGA, it's going to be a lot about key stats, specifically based around what course we're at on the given week, what players are coming in with good form, and then what players we see possibly value in a DraftKings type setting where it's birdie or better, or etc. MLB last year was also really successful. That'll be coming back, and then the NFL obviously will be coming back sometime in late June, early July, depending on how the coding goes for the website. Obviously, getting that up and out for the PGA in this upcoming week is obviously our first priority. But I really appreciate you guys tuning in today. Obviously, give it a like and a subscribe, and I'm going to be posting a lot more. So hopefully, if you don't subscribe the first time, that's fine. Just keep coming back, and I'll make sure that my picks are able to get you money. That's my most important thing. So keep coming back, keep trying out the show, and worst comes to worst, you get a few more data points that you might not have had had you not watched the show. So hope you enjoy. I'm going to run through the website now. So this is a look at the website for the SRP picks that I've created that hopefully will be deployed by the weekend. I'm still trying to work on getting a hosting website for it, but once it does, all of the information and procedures that I go through today, you're also going to be able to go through on your own. Today is kind of like a run-through video. When I eventually release the MLB and the NFL data, I'll also be doing run-through videos for those as well, kind of showing you guys all that you have access to by checking out the SRP Picks website and obviously liking and subscribing to both my Twitter and YouTube channels. A lot of what I'm going to do on a weekly basis is breaking down the data that you can see right here and kind of explaining the way that I do for the different information. So you see below the SRP Picks Twitter handle, and that's where I'm going to post where a lot of the shows come up for the given week. And going through that information, I plan on really talking a lot about how, what is the offers for the upcoming week. So as you see here, we have the MLB, the NFL, and the PGA sites up and going. The MLB and NFL section still kind of under construction. But when we go through a daily or weekly analysis for an upcoming tournament, we're really going to be going through those three stats that I just pointed out: player-by-player stats, field stat analysis, and course data. And each of them has a very particular analysis that we'll do to really look at what kind of players will stand out in a given week based on their stats and what they have displayed on the tour in recent form. And then I plan on posting all of my picks that I talk about either on the show or on Twitter on that section right there, the picks section, which is going to be a very important one for you guys when you're making your daily selections. The player-by-player data is really, really interesting. You can select any one of the players that are on the drop-down menu, select a given year. We went back to about 3 years ago in the past, 2018, 2019, and 2020. We felt like any data before that would have kind of been a little bit old and a little bit stale based on what we're looking for today. And then we have all of these fields up that you can look at. So you can look at any player playing any course at any year, or you can look at their entire background for the given course. The queries we set up really allow you to go through and really see a player's performance in a bunch of different filters. And as you see here, we have a ton of players on this website. I know the PGA Tour really only posts guys that have qualified with a given number of rounds, but we have been able to go through and make sure that if you've qualified with 1 or 2 tournaments over the past 3 years, you will be in this database, just so that you don't have guys who sneak up on you on a given week. I know that for the Outlaw Classic, a lot of people were watching it and wanted to get some dollars laid down on it, but couldn't because they didn't know the players. But you'll never have the problem with this website where you'll be able to see all of the guys. As we're going through this, I want to point out that this information is going to be really important in our analysis next week when we really sit down and go through different stat-by-stat layouts for what makes a winner at the Charles Schwab Classic. When we're going through a weekly analysis, we'll most likely look at who's coming in with recent form in the player-by-player data pool. We'll look at the this field stat analysis information, where you can look at how good a player is at hitting certain types of approaches or hitting certain type of scrambling situations, and you'll be able to play that off of what you need to be good at a given course. So for example, if you need a player who is hitting between 105 and 150 yards, and we see that that's a very important approach range for a given week, we can then go to the field of stat analysis section and really begin to explore what kind of players fit into that given area and what players are either going to be good at that given stat or are going to be bad and guys that you would not want to project. So if we go here, we go to that range I was talking about, 125 to 150 at this course, we see that like Joaquin Niemann is last out of qualifying players in the field for that approach range at Charles Schwab Classic when he's played here. So it's kind of a different way to kind of view players for a given week and kind of be able to start your projections off where it's like, all right, these guys I can write off because they don't fit my criteria, and these guys I can't write off because they fit into certain spots that I really like. So as we're looking through here, Jordan Spieth is our kickoff player, and next week we're going to be able to go through him and a lot of other people on the show to kind of talk about how good they are for the upcoming season. Monday's show will be about guys to watch coming back off this COVID-19 break. There's obviously a lot of unknowns leading into this period due to the fact that people were off for so long. So I'm going to focus on some guys you can target that were good coming into the break and would be not affected by the long period off. And then the other thing we're going to discuss on Tuesday or Wednesday is going to be my Charles Schwab Classic show, where we really sit down, break down what is right now an 125-man field, and discuss who has the best chance of taking the first tournament coming off this large break. If you like what you heard today, please like and subscribe. Obviously a new channel, so it would be really, really helpful for you guys to get the information out there. Like I said, this is a trial process for both me and all my listeners. I'm more of a podcast creator myself, so I really want to be able to provide a face to the information I'm giving you guys, and if you guys keep tuning back in and week out, I promise you I'll be giving you the data that'll help you succeed. So thanks for tuning in today. Please follow my Twitter handle that's posted down below, and like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I hope you guys have a great day and look forward to the coming back of the PGA Tour.